Hello building fans, Bricks Unbound here with a Mega Construx Pokemon set review. This is set FNF08 Volcano Rivals, comes with 404 pieces, and in the United States is exclusive to Toys R Us and retails for $39.99. Comes with 4 figures being Pikachu using Iron Tail, Growlithe, Krabby, and Diglett. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. Here's a closer look at our 4 Pokemon in this set. We'll go from left to right, start out with this Diglett here. A very simple build, but that makes sense because it's not a super complicated looking Pokemon. I think they did a good job though, showing it coming up through the ground. Now we just need 2 more of it stuck together to give us a Doug trio. Next up is Growlithe, the puppy Pokemon. I think they did a nice job getting the shape of his tail. Unfortunately, his head is not superposable. It does tend to break off if you try to twist it, so you got to hold it at the neck here to turn it. But he can't really look up because it does run into his back. But speaking of his back, there's a nice printed piece there. And overall, this particular figure has a lot of printing, almost an unnecessary amount, but I mean, that's awesome because it doesn't, as long as it doesn't drive up the price of the set too much. I love getting lots of nice printed pieces in it. And interestingly, my set actually came with an extra leg for him. Not sure if that was intentional or not, and I don't really know what I'm going to do with that piece, but still a fun spare to get. Good shaping also, I think, with the ears, considering the parts available, and they didn't want to make it such a huge set. Hopefully we are going to see an Arcanine here before too long. That was definitely one of my favorite Generation 1 Pokemon. Next up is Krabby. Awesome job getting the shape of his legs and claws, I would say. Mega Construx has a lot of interestingly shaped pieces, a lot of good little ball joint pieces as well, which really lend themselves, I think, to capturing the essence of Krabby. Nice print for his face, and that is the only printed piece for him, but I think he still looks fantastic. Nothing actually falls off too bad on him. The joints were a little stiff to start with, but once you move them around a bit, they'll be fine, and it's really easy to put them back together if you do not get anything off. But awesome posability here as well. And then finally is another version of Pikachu. So this is our 4th version of it. It is exclusive to this set because the Iron Tail as well as the face print on it. But here are the other 3 that we've gotten from previous sets. So you can see this one has a little bit more of a stern kind of ready to rock face as opposed to our super heavy Pikachu, the angry one from the Bulbasaur vs. Pikachu set, and the winking Pikachu. So we're getting a pretty good variety of these already. It'll be interesting to see what they come out with next. We could get maybe like a sleeping Pikachu, or maybe one that has some scuff marks on his face like he's been in the battle for a bit. And of course one that came with a surfboard would kind of just be a fun nod to the opening scene of Red and Blue. So that does it for the figures. One last quick spin for this Pikachu. So it does have, oh man, I broke him in half. The same build as all the other ones. These silver pieces for the tail. As I said, that's to represent him doing the Iron Tail attack. That has been part of the anime for sure. I don't think he actually learns it in game unless you use a TM on him. I've never taught my Pikachu Iron Tail, but it's still a fun variant. Let's go ahead and take a look at the set. Now for the play set itself, just first off looking at it, I think they did an awesome job. I mean, you can really see quite a bit of variation in colors, but it still all makes sense. I think all of the transparent pieces they used for the lava effect were used to great effect. They've got lots of different slopes in here, little curved slope pieces, plates, tiles, all kinds of very good pieces to have in that color, especially for making this kind of effect. The rock work around it is also pretty nice. Lots of big pieces used, but I think they varied it up enough that it doesn't look too boring there. You'll also notice some good foliage around the sides. It's on all the little ball joint pieces, so it can really be posed around however you like. Got a little bit on the other side as well. And then there's these 2 stands here for the Pokemon. There's one on this side that Pikachu is currently attached to. It just has a peg on the end of it, so that just sticks straight into the back of Pikachu or any other Pokemon that has that connection point on them. And the other one actually has a clip on its end. You can see it there. So that just hooks onto one of Krabby's legs. Lets him jump around just as well as Pikachu. Then let's go ahead and do a little bit of turning around. And this is really a play set because it does have action features besides just being able to pose the Pokemon. It also has these little pieces stuck up on the side which look like they're lava flowing down, but if you want to take them off and make it look like Growlithe is breathing fire, you can do that as well. You also notice a couple of holes in the side of this slope here that lets you take the stands off, and you can stick them in other places as well as other spots you can put it around the build, so you can really do a lot of different dynamic posing of your Pokemon. There's a little bit of cave in the back. You'll see why Growlithe is stuck on the wall like that in just a second, but there's quite a bit of space to pose Pokemon up underneath here. They can have a little hideout, and here's the other side. So now for the actual play features. So first off, up top you see this pile of trans orange studs. You can launch those off to have the volcano erupt if you just hit this plate down back here. You can do that just with your finger, or you can use a Pokemon to hit it, but if you hit it down, oops, if you do it with enough force, there we go, they will bounce everywhere and you will lose all of them, but it will look awesome. You do get a few extra in the set, you can see over here. You could probably pile them just right to fit them all up top, but it does get pretty full. They just have this little tray build up here, which really, it works just fine. As you saw, it launches them off good as long as you hit it hard enough. The other play feature involves Growlithe. So you can see how I have him kind of stuck on the inside of the wall here. If you push on him, boom, he jumps out through the lava fall, which looks pretty great. He's just attached with just some studs right here. You can pose him in a couple different spots. You probably want to put him on the farthest forward ones though, that way it is able to close up. But like I said, you can just tap him forward and he jumps out the front, ready to do battle with Pikachu, and there goes his head off again. But overall, pretty nice looking play set. Let's move on to my final thoughts for the set. Overall, I think Mega Construx made a very successful set out of this little build. I think it looks great on display. The playability is pretty good too. The features work well. The ability to pose your Pokemon all over the place on this, using the stands or even not using the stands, is just fantastic. And I think the Pokemon they chose to go with it are good as well. I mean, Pikachu is, of course, the series mascot. I mean, it's on the box. It's part of the box art for all of these Pokemon sets, so it makes perfect sense to have him in it, and it's nice that they gave us a new variation of it, because at least if they're going to give us Pikachu in a ton of sets, we might as well get a different one every time. The Growlithe build is pretty good. His head does like to fall off though. I think Krabby looks perfect, and Diglett, it makes sense to put that Diglett into a larger playset because it is so few pieces. If you got that in one of those Pokeball things that's $7, you'd really feel ripped off because it's a very simple build. But it is a Pokemon that everyone who's played the games recognizes because you've gone through Diglett's tunnel and all of that. So it is an important thing to have as a Pokemon, and I think this is a good set to include it in. As I said, the terrain looks good all around. Mega Construx really made good use of some of their more uniquely shaped parts to build it up nicely. Let me know what you think about this down below. I do also think the price is pretty fair. It's a little over 400 pieces for $40, so that's right around that 10 cents per piece that a lot of building companies kind of seem to aim for. So yeah, I would recommend picking this up if you are a Pokemon or Mega Construx fan. Let me know what you think down below and come back for more videos.